When you look at a woman's outfit, what's the one accessory that ties everything together? For many, it's a beautiful watch, but walk into any department store or scroll through your social media feed, and you are hit with a minefield of options. Here is the dirty little secret the watch industry doesn't want you to know. Most women's watches are nothing more than a cheap $5 plastic mechanism wrapped in expensive marketing. So before you slide that credit card, here are the 10 watch brands you should absolutely stay away from. Let's kick things off with one of the biggest giants in the fashion world, Michael Kors. You see them everywhere. They look oversized, shiny, heavily branded, and they scream luxury lifestyle. But under that heavy gold plating lies a harsh truth. Michael Kors doesn't actually make watches. They design clothes and handbags. Their timepieces are mass-produced by a massive licensing conglomerate called the Fossil Group. Inside that $300 watch is a quartz movement that costs less than a cup of coffee to manufacture. Worse yet, the gold on these watches is just a thin chemical coating. Within a year of everyday wear, that shiny finish will rub off, leaving behind a dull, patchy base metal. If you want a fashion statement, buy their bag. If you want a timepiece, stay far away. Next up is Daniel Wellington, the ultimate king of Instagram marketing. For years, you couldn't scroll through social media without seeing a famous influencer posing with one of these minimalist watches. They look elegant and perfectly understated, but Daniel Wellington is essentially a masterclass in markup. These watches feature a basic design with cheap components. In fact, if you go on wholesale websites like Alibaba, you can find virtually identical unbranded watches for less than $5. Daniel Wellington slaps their logo on it, pairs it with an inexpensive nylon strap, and charges you upwards of $200. There is no craftsmanship here. There is no heritage. It's just an overpriced minimalist wrapper around a disposable plastic watch. Now let's look at a brand targeted heavily at women looking for that delicate jewelry-first look, Anne Klein. These are often sold in box sets alongside matching bracelets, making them look like an incredible value gift. Don't fall for the packaging. Anne Klein watches are notorious for using extremely cheap base metals and low-grade mineral crystals that scratch if you so much as breathe on them wrong. The diamonds they boast on the dial are often industrial-grade dust particles with zero intrinsic value. Furthermore, the clasps and links are notorious for breaking after just a few months of light wear. You're paying for a low-tier piece of costume jewelry, not a reliable watch. Our fourth spot goes to MVMT. Launched with the slogan "Disrupting the fashion industry by cutting out the middleman," they promised high-quality, sleek luxury watches at an affordable price point. The problem? They are the middleman. MVMT built an empire on buying generic, mass-produced watches from factories overseas, adding sleek matte black finishes or minimal hands, and marking the price up by hundreds of %. Watch experts who have analyzed MVMT timepieces under a microscope have consistently found poor alignment, dust trapped under the glass, and cheap battery-operated movements that offer zero longevity. It's an empty marketing campaign wrapped around a generic product. This one might hurt, because who doesn't love a bit of Italian luxury? We're talking about Gucci. Now, let's be fair. Gucci has recently tried to break into high-end haute horology with some stunning mechanical pieces. But we aren't talking about those $50,000 museum pieces. We are talking about the entry-level fashion watches you buy at high-end department stores for $800 to $1,500. Paying over $1,000 for a basic quartz watch just because it has a green and red stripe or an interlocking G on the dial is a terrible financial move. For that kind of money, you could buy a beautifully engineered timepiece from a real heritage watchmaker like Seiko, Tissot, or Hamilton. These are watches that have automatic mechanical movements, scratch-proof sapphire crystal, and genuine history. With a lower-end Gucci watch, you are purely paying a 4-digit premium to be a walking billboard for a fashion house. Are you enjoying the video? Hit like and subscribe. We are only halfway through the list, and the next 5 brands get even trickier. Moving on to number 6, we have a brand that is famous for a very specific marketing trick, Invicta. If you've ever browsed an online storefront or watched a home shopping channel, you've probably seen an Invicta watch. They love to show a price tag of nearly $1,000, only to tell you that today you can buy it on a mega discount for $99. Don't fall for it. This is a classic psychological sales tactic. The watch was never worth $1,000. It was built to be a $99 watch from the start. For women, Invicta watches are often incredibly heavy and lack any refinement. The materials used feel cheap on the wrist, and the designs are often low-quality copies of iconic luxury watches like the Rolex Submariner. It's an illusion of a deal wrapped in a heavy piece of steel. Next up is another powerhouse from the fashion world, Emporio Armani. Just like Michael Kors, Armani is a legendary name when it comes to tailoring, evening wear, and fragrances. But when it comes to watches, they fall into the exact same trap. These watches are produced under a mass licensing agreement, meaning Armani simply sells the rights to use their logo on a generic watch template. You are easily paying $300 to $500 for a timepiece that costs less than $20 to assemble. The metal often tarnishes quickly, the battery life is notoriously short, and if you ever try to sell it down the line, you'll find it has absolutely zero resale value. If you love Armani, stick to their incredible clothing. Number 8 brings us to Cluse, a brand that caught the wave of the minimalist trend over the last few years. Marketed heavily toward young professional women as the ultimate chic everyday accessory, Cluse watches look undeniably pretty on social media. But beneath that dainty exterior lies a very flimsy product. Many women who have purchased Cluse watches report that the glass scratches easily because it uses a low-grade mineral crystal. The mesh bands are known to catch on clothing or lose their clamping strength over time, causing the watch to slip off. It's a fast fashion accessory built to last a season. Our 9th brand is Coach. Renowned for making excellent, durable leather handbags and accessories at an accessible luxury price point, Coach enjoys a fantastic reputation. Naturally, many women assume their watches carry that same level of craftsmanship. Unfortunately, they don't. Coach watches are manufactured by third-party watch giants who focus on mass production rather than fine horology. While the leather straps on a Coach watch might feel decent because of the brand's heritage, the actual watch case and internal mechanics are cheap. You are paying a premium for a tiny C logo stamped all over the dial, when that same money could buy you a far superior watch from a dedicated timekeeper. Finally, let's talk about Stour. This brand frequently advertises in the back of magazines, using long romantic stories about uncovering a lost Swiss design or bringing back the golden age of watchmaking. They look highly complex, vintage, and expensive. However, the reality is that Stour watches are mostly mass-produced overseas using low-tier automatic movements. They often look flashy in pictures, but feel light and plasticky in hand. The complex dials are notorious for breaking, and getting them serviced by a watchmaker is practically impossible because parts aren't readily available. Listen, a watch is more than just a tool to tell time. It's an investment in your personal style. Don't let clever marketing and a fancy logo fool you into buying a cheap piece of plastic. Buy from brands that actually care about watchmaking. Which of these brands surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our luxury style guides. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.